Hello everybody, it's your old pal Rob. Now, recently I did a video about The Darkest Dungeon and I decided to check it out on BGG. I knew I really wanted this game when it came out. I didn't back it on Kickstarter and I'd probably pay a ton extra to bring it in if it turned out to be pretty good. But this game has been in nobody's hands and yet it had a 5.0 rating on it. And I was scratching my head. I go, what is this? So I decided to look in the comments a little bit more. And then because people were upset over the shipping, them asking for shipping and stuff like that, giving a game a 1. And it made me think about the Board Game Geek rating system as a whole, which is truly the heart of what this video is about. Not Darkest Dungeon, but how people are the main problem of this system. It's not the system itself. It's based on a system of honesty and trust in humanity. And that shouldn't be a big problem. Somebody plays a game, they have an honest opinion of it. If they don't like it, okay, express why you don't like it, and then give it a rating out of all your games of all time. 1 being the worst game that you've ever played. There's no game that you could ever play that would be worse than this. 10 being the greatest game that you'll ever play, and nothing can ever top this particular game. Seems pretty easy. But the real problem is people. Not BGG, not the system. Because if you think about it, if you gave it comes down to honesty and trust. And let's face it, that in humanity is few and far between, okay? Why do we have so many used car salesmen? Why? They're going to sell you a piece of junk to hit their bottom line, and they're going to lie to you. That's just the way it is in this world. Some are born to be that, and some are born to be corporate CEOs and just do the same thing, only a lot more crookedly. And unfortunately, finding people that will honestly do that, you have to sort through some of the things. If you took this particular system and said, okay, we're not going to leave it up to the people, we're going to leave it up to the reviewers. Well, that's just as crooked as it comes. Okay? Because how many reviewers are going to get a free copy of the game? Well, I want to get a few more copies from this company. They put out a lot of good stuff. I'm going to give this a good review even though this isn't a good game. So that would skew the whole thing. Or somebody didn't get a copy as a reviewer and they're going to say, well, you know something, I had to go out and pay for this. This is just nothing but garbage. I wrote these guys, they didn't acknowledge me. Woo 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 woo, boo hoo hoo hoo. So there's no way you can count on reviewers to truly be honest a lot of times, even though there are some there, and there are honest people. So how do you go about this? How do you fix this? It's kind of funny because I was looking at a couple of games to try to figure this out. My father's work, and I looked at Oathsworn. 2 games that I did not I didn't personally put one of those review things into the BGG forum. You know, I didn't click any stars or anything like that. And I wanted to see if there was any way that I can formulate what these games were. Both of them were very, very high scores. And it was kind of funny because when I looked at Oathsworn, and the numbers of 9s and 10s were ridiculous. But it's kind of funny that you would have a mixture of 1s in there because people had to pay extra for the shipping, so they were upset about that, not the game itself. So if you took some of these 1s out and you took some of these 10s, like, oh, I can't, there was one rating that was 10, greatest game ever, I can't wait to get it. How could that be a 10? So if you took these out and I started going through and I only looked at things in a way that had comments in it, okay? If somebody just gives something 10 stars and doesn't put a comment in it, or gave it 1 star or didn't give it a comment to it, I just excluded those completely. And it was amazing how close the ratings would come more balanced. Okay, I think I figured Oath Sworn at an 8.3 or something like that, because I read the comments, and there were a lot of people that were very objective and very fair with the game. Hey, I really like this game. It's great, but I would have liked a mini boss in there, or so forth and so on, instead of it being all boss fights. 7.5. I go, that's pretty fair. Okay, there was somebody that wrote this big long thing and gave it a 9. Okay, didn't make it a perfect score, but gave it a 9 because they are absolutely having a blast with the game. I think that's a fair score. Okay, there was somebody that just said, you know something, as much as I love this game, this isn't for me. 6.5. I think that's fair. Okay, but when you start taking those lower and higher, the real high ones out and the real low ones out, you start to get a good mixture and a feel for what the system really is. Okay, and that's where it really works. That's where you have to do your homework. You just can't go, well, it's 8.9 on BGG. No, you have to research a little further. Okay, because you got to cut out things that people might be upset about, and you got to cut out maybe even some of the developers or things. I mean, let's be honest. Some of the play testers and this, that, and the other, or people that are highly paid on social media to really push a game, that are popping these things with 10s. My father's work, that one I think was one that I really found the most interesting, because there were a lot of people that are hardcore Euro gamers, and you got a good balance there when you took away all the ones, because whatever they were upset about, and you took away the 10s for people that, oh, I'm so excited for this game, I can't wait to get my hands on it. How does it become a 10? I still boggles my mind. And then you started looking at the comments, and you started looking at things, okay, 8.3. Why? I love this game. Here are the things that I think are positive, and then here are the things that were kind of negative. But overall, my experience was this. Or somebody that played it and said, you know something, I played it, I didn't care for it. 5.5. Okay? Because not everybody's going to love your game as much as you would love that to be. But in between there, and you started balancing out, and I wish, I thought of it to maybe go to the screen and show some of the comments, but I felt that if I started showing people's comments, that would have been wrong, because it would be singling people out. So that's why we're not on the computer taking a look at these things, because it just isn't fair. But when you really, really look at this and you take the time, you can almost get a true rating from Board Game Geek. And the system does work. What you have to do is filter out certain things and do your homework. Now, some of these games, like Everdale that I took a look at, had 36,000 ratings. I mean, that's a lot. But when you looked at the ones that had comments on it, it was significantly less. And from those ones that people took the time to invest their time in it and give the proper rating, this is where the system works perfectly. You can't blame BGG for humanity. You can't blame BGG, who puts out a system that should work if people were just honest. If you don't like the game, say why you don't like the game. All right, not because of shipping costs, or I don't like this distributor, or they didn't send me a copy of the game to review. Put your honest feelings. Wow, this didn't do it for me, but here were the things that I thought were positive. Here were the things I thought were negative. And if we had more people that did that, and we take a look and do our homework and take this system for what it is, it's a good system. But it relies on honesty. And there are honest people out there. You just have to filter through it. There's no perfect system to rate a game. What makes you think that Tom Vassell gives a game a 9.5 and Rodney Smith gives the same game a 6.5. Who's right? They both are. They both are. Because those are their different views of a game. Who's right? They both are. And this is what the beauty of it is. And somewhere in between where your tastes lie, maybe you lean more with a Rodney or a one-shop co-op or a Tom Vassell and his people over at the Dice Tower, Shut Up, Sit Down, whoever it is, okay? If you trust them enough, okay, and believe that they tell you what they honestly feel about the game, okay, without all this corporate baloney and stuff like that, and that'll get interference, okay, then you're going to be all right. You're going to be able to pick a game that you like, because nowadays this system is very, very important. And I'll tell you why. Not only is reviewers giving good, solid reviews and honesty, not because this person's their friend, that person's their friend. Hey, listen, I love Flying Pig, the guys over there, okay? Good friends of the channel. And there's a couple of companies that are good friends of the channel. But if something isn't good, I'm going to tell you about it. And that's the first thing that you have to strike up a relationship, is to do that. BGG puts it out there where you can put your, I'm showing you my notes, puts it out there where you have the chance to be the reviewer. You have a chance to be honest and help your fellow gamers. Times are tough. We're in a recession. People are having tough time paying their bills. And when you're able to buy something of luxury to bring in to help you get through this, I mean, let's face it, games and certain types of media and things like that help you get through difficult times. Well, it's just the way it is nowadays. If you can be spending your money intelligently and smartly, and your fellow gamer help you out, then you've done a great justice to yourself, okay? And you've done a justice to yourself and to the people in your gaming community. Everybody talks about, oh, the gaming community is such a beautiful thing. We know that's a bunch of horseshit, but the truth of it is that if you want to live to those words, then act on those words. Be fair to your fellow gamer. Use this system use this Board Game Geek system for a positive thing, to help your fellow gamer, because you would expect the same when you are looking for a game as well. That people would be honest and really give you an honest feel for a game. Whether it's huge and go out and spend $400, or you spend, $10 for a little pocket game. You want honesty. Is it fun? Is it going to be worth my hard-earned money? Those are important questions. Those are important things. And that's why this system was created, to help your fellow gamer. Why don't we live up to that and start doing that correctly, instead of trashing a game because we're mad, and it's mostly Kickstarter games, which are mostly games being made now. It's mostly the Kickstarter games that have some backlash because they're late because of this, that, or the other. Or this one's no good, this one's no good. You hear more and more of it, and this board game drama gets a little old, and it makes me scratch my head. But to dump on the game because it's late and you're butthurt over it, come on, grow up. Get out of your mom's basement, okay? Be mad because she's going to shut off your Wi-Fi. Don't be mad because games are late or this, that, and the other. Okay, give people the benefit of the doubt. Give them a chance to explain themselves, and then if they run off with your money, you have every right to be ticked off. Okay, but remember, you're the one that gave that money, just like you give to those reviewers and things like that, so you can get an honest view of things. BGG does the same. They put the system out there to benefit the gamer. It isn't BGG's fault. It's people's fault. So let's see if we can do better and do the right thing and really, honestly, get something out of it. You can find it. It's going to take some work, okay? Sorting through, researching a system that is flawed. Every system's flawed. Anything that has to do with people is flawed, okay? Horse racing, okay? You think that's honest? Okay, sometimes the horse is really fast and is going to win that race. And you're right, that horse is a great horse. But anything with people can be corrupted. Anything with the human being involved can face some kind of corruption in some part or way. It's the same thing with this system. Okay, flawed, but it can be used for good. And if you put in the work, you can get the answer you are looking for. You really can, because there are people that really have a passion and care about gaming. And then there's people that just care about money. But the BG system, it does work. It just takes some time. So I really wanted to make this and put that out there, because I've always heard, oh, the BGG rating system, the rating system. Nothing's perfect. Nothing ever is. But this is one thing that if you do the research, you can get the answer that you want. And we need to strive to give good, honest reviews on BGG to help make that system work. Let's hope that we can get there and we can all benefit from it, especially during these very tough times. Until next time, it's your old pal Rob. We'll see you soon, everybody.